This is a continuation of the top 50 restaurants in the world's worst reviews. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the best in the world still get some of the worst reviews. You will see the most egotistical people write reviews on this. I had to break it up into smaller videos, so here is the second part of that video. Nova Hot and Schmuddiers. We had to take away dinner. We thought the idea was cool. You get all these different courses and you warm them up at home. That sounds like a fucking terrible idea. This whole warm up business from restaurants at home, I actually think is one of the worst culinary things in existence. I like the idea of like take home movies and stuff like that. I still like theaters, but at least I can understand like, hey, this is why movie theaters are dying. This I do not understand, and I don't think I will ever understand because the amount of experience I think it takes to learn how to do cooking to a certain degree. So when I see take home things, I just honestly think that sounds like a terrible idea, like a god awful idea, to be honest. But that's just kind of my take on that. So I'll start with the good things. Portions were very generous and they made an effort with sending a playlist. I took the vegetarian option, which consisted of an onion dish as a first. I've never heard of an onion dish. That's weird. Just onion. It was sauteed nicely. It was quite tasty, but much more appropriate as a relish or a topping. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's okay. Then came a red cabbage salad. Too sour and poorly made. It came with mashed potatoes and tasted like it was made with animal fat. They assured me it wasn't, but it didn't taste like it at all. I mean, I don't know what you expect. I hate I won't lie. A lot of times I see the entitlement of like vegetarians and vegans, and a lot of times it can be quite extreme. Like if you're going out to a restaurant, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you want to be like, this is kind of true with any sort of like diet restrictions. If you're going out to have someone else make your food, right, then you're always taking a risk, and you either need to accept that risk or not. That's just it. The cauliflower was nice, but I think also because I was hungry, I didn't get to the kale with mustard seed because I was fed up with the odd combination: onion, cabbage, potato, kohlrabi, kale. Seriously, this doesn't sound. It's vegetarian. What do you want? It's all vegetarian stuff, and none of that sounds that bad. I'm not gonna lie. Then I had a spoonful of a rhubarb sorbet. That sounds really good. It tasted like a slightly sour nothing. I hate writing bad reviews, but I think that when you're paying a lot of money for something, you should get something back. Oh, we did get 2 condoms with the meal. What? You got 2 condoms with the meal? How does that make any sense? That is the most confusing. Is that serious? There's no way that's real, right? That can't be real. Okay, well, was not expecting that one. Le Bernardin. Oh, it's a 3 Michelin star. I left, leaving the restaurant crying. I like how they have a picture of the cook from Ratatouille, the lady, visiting May 29th. I'm still trying to digest this 3 stars GM, which I got on my plate, and at the end, what we paid for the experience. That did not make any sense. No one asked us if we wanted an apéritif. I think that's appetizer. The brioche was not soft. It was dry, while the olive bread was cold inside. So I guess the bread has been frozen previously. It was supposed to be foie gras between the tuna and the toast. It tasted nothing because the toast was barely spread with foie gras. The classic dry sherry mole sauce and the red wine ordinaise sauce was not good at all and didn't match with the lobster halibut. Surprised that the chef couldn't find a more 3-star sauce for lobster and halibut. The halibut was dry, maybe cooked in the afternoon and reheated, but it was not cooked a la minute like a 3-star Michelin star should do. I couldn't find any joy and creativity in those dishes. Poorly decorated with garniture, and all plates looked boring. Such a repetition. Each plate was placed in front of you and they poured the sauce on your plate with a small white porcelain sauce dispenser. The plates were dirty, not only with many fingerprints, but also water traces from the dishwasher. Surprised, I asked the chef Eric was working today, and the waiter told me of course he works every day. I can never imagine a 3-star GM chef sending frozen bread, tasteless food, and a dirty plate to his client. The only compliment food I can give is to the chef passiere. The desserts were good and well decorated. At the end, we received a piece of cake with a candle saying that we had something to celebrate. We told the waiter that we had nothing to celebrate today, but he kept pushing the piece of cake in the middle of the table. I guess it was to celebrate the salty check we received that was not worth the tasting menu and service we got or didn't get. Do they show pictures? That's pretty bad. My guess is that one is intentional. Yet she got a picture. Anyone else confused by that? I mean, a lot of the food looks decent, except for that one plate I could see kind of being disappointed by. 2 Michelin star. You know, I noticed a disrespectful thing, and I wonder how often these disrespectful things are literally just fucking Karen. Like, whenever I see that, I just kind of assume that they're Karens, and I don't know how wrong I would be, to be honest. It doesn't deserve any Michelin star at all. Oh my god, they did it all under case. Do you know how hard this is going to be to read? Wrongly awarded Michelin stars. Somehow they wrongly did this. I don't know how, but somehow the Michelin stars are wrong. It does not deserve a Michelin star at all. Firstly, I would like to say that I am French, as if this somehow gives me a greater meaning and understanding of what food is. I have been raised traveling in Michelin stars and 50 best restaurants all over the world. Man, that sounds so fucking entitled. Just the week before, I was in the #1 and #2 restaurant in the world in Denmark, who definitely both deserve their ranking. So I was hoping for a good experience at a place. Firstly, I noticed that a couple sitting next to me were having some very traditional meat dishes. Big portion, classic sauce, and vegetables. Nothing interesting. So instead of having a Conti menu at €175, we opted for the Evolution menu at €195. The waiter said it will be more inventive with a few surprises. What a disappointment. Firstly, we got most of the dishes from the Bella Conti menu and 2 more dishes that were coming from the a la carte menu. So absolutely no surprise here, and no play with texture, no jelly, no nitrogen, no foam. Absolutely nothing exciting or interesting. Dishes were typically 80s to 90s French chef. The only interesting part of the menu were the amuse-bouches. I don't know how to say that. They were really nice, but we are talking of 4 tiny portions and the pre-dessert, also a tiny portion, but at least inventive, and 1 starter. The carrot and olive one. But all the dishes we had, 6 were absolutely blank. Traditionally cooked fish with a beurre blanc sauce, traditionally cooked prawn with a bisque, all well executed, but absolutely no originality, and very heavy portion. We even had a fish cooked in a buttery, heavy sauce, and to make it inventive, that's how they call it, they bring a few pieces of bread and fig butter and recommend the butter and bread and dip it in the sauce. Okay, the fig part seems interesting, but no, a big no. This is a very buttery, creamy plate. No need to add extra bread and butter. You can always add extra bread and butter. Another plate was a creative salad with lobster. It was literally what it is. A heavy lobster salad, big portion, nothing special. We also had a pigeon with a mushroom sauce and a puff pastry. It sounds really good, filled with the mushroom. Totally 80s dish. Was probably the dessert. They call it tomato texture. What a joke. It was actually 2 scoop of classic strawberry ice cream with some vanilla custard, and they added a little more piece of confit tomato to the custard. Heavy, plain, nothing inventive or original. A pure total disappointment and waste of our evening in Lisbon. Fortunately, we were lucky enough to secure a table the day before at a very inventive restaurant in Old Higher Town that TripAdvisor does not allow me to name. It's a 1 Michelin star, which deserves 2 stars. Very original, inventive dishes, and very good philosophy from the chef. Naturally sourced ingredients. I like how this dude is basically just saying that. Reuse, very good non-alcoholic pairing. P.S. Bello Conti does not offer any non-alcoholic pairing. We had diner at another Michelin star restaurant in a hotel with the sea view the night before. Also, 1 Michelin star who deserves 2 stars. Again, TripAdvisor did not allow me to name it. Many interesting ingredients to textures play. We will also serve caviar and white truffle. It's a very interesting, playful dishes. Overall, I do think that Bella Conti has its 2 stars Michelin and kept them for political reasons, as it is one of the first restaurants awarded 2 stars in Lisbon or even in Portugal. They obviously don't deserve it. The chef should be ashamed not at least to try to live up to the expectation, but I guess he does not care. He was not in the restaurant, and he also have 3 or 4 restaurants in town, including a pizzeria. So, give yourself a favor, avoid this place and try other 1 Michelin star restaurants I suggest. Much better experience. I mean, maybe it is awful. I don't know. It's so hard to tell how much of these are like awful or the person is just entitled. It's almost like a game. Are they entitled or is it awful? But at some point, if every single restaurant has a low rating and you look back at the reviews and you see, hey, I'm one of these people in this fancy ass restaurant who gave a low rating, and I noticed that other people also do that in other things, maybe it's you. The next restaurant of choice is, don't know how to say this, Suring. It's in Bangkok, Thailand. 2 Michelin stars. Nice. I was actually embarrassed I had suggested this place. I did take a group of French business partners out to dinner and thought a German fine dining restaurant might be a nice surprise. It was a surprise, but not a good one. One of my guests had some food allergies and the staff had no answers to and reacted quite badly to, or to call a spade, I feel like that's a racist term. Had no clue how to deal with. After that one request, they were just treated rudely. I guess they considered us a lost cause and just stopped trying. For the rest of the evening, with me cringing in embarrassment, it was truly a terrible night out. Luckily, my business partners have a sense of humor and laughed it all off. I personally find it hard to forgive. I mean, shrimp isn't fish. Underwhelmed. We're very exciting to hear the shrimp. I'd read an article about the restaurant and owners on a plane and was really looking forward to it, especially as my boyfriend is German. We arrived and the restaurant was very cool. Our waiter was a German Thai gentleman who was lovely, but sadly another waitress took over who was actually rude. When she went through the menu, completely not explaining anything, my boyfriend said he doesn't eat fish. When she mentioned a fish dish, to our dismay, she looked at my boyfriend with complete annoyance and said, "It's shrimp. Shrimp isn't fish." She's right! Shrimp is not fish. Those are different things. You're acting like it was her fault, but I mean, shrimp really is not fish. Now you can say I don't like, seafood, but a shrimp is a crustacean, not a fish. Then she tried to upsell an expensive bottle of wine, which she has zero clue about. I mean, I can't really blame her for that. We started with an badza. It was presented in a ridiculous bowl with a crushed paper. Then on top there were two tiny badza. I don't know what that is, to be honest. My boyfriend, who has had this dish many times, laughed at the size. We then had the currywurst, again, 2 small pieces for 2 people. You know this is an expensive restaurant, right? Like, you don't get large portions. It came in a box, which just wasn't necessary, with a wooden pick, which didn't work. We had pork for main course, which was forgettable. Needless to say, we didn't stay for dessert. The restaurant does not live up to the hype. It was a huge disappointment and overpriced. Oh, what? I don't know. I don't know why people I don't know. I don't know who's the entitled one. I don't know if it's the restaurateurs or the Baraggio, Santiago, Chile. But this does go to show you, even if you are one of the most popular things on the planet, some people still will not like you. Baraggio in one word: disaster. Run away from this place. Considered one of the top 50 restaurants in the world, this is a tasteless experience that the chef considers conceptual. Maybe because this is a new world of horrible food. The food is beautiful, but nothing short of a disaster when it comes to the taste. I tried many of the best restaurants in the world in over 70 countries, and this is by far one of the worst experiences I've ever had. The wine pairing is a joke, and they will serve you the cheapest wines of Chile and will charge you a bottle of Almaviva. I don't know, that's probably some expensive wine. With so many options in Santiago, don't spend your time and money in this place. After 7 dishes, we decided to leave the place. The menu has 17 dishes. The food was so bad, we decided to leave. By the way, they charged us the full price. No problem. Hopefully this post will avoid other people experiencing this disaster. I suspect many people that like this place just because of the status of the restaurant, and I'm afraid to say they paid a fortune to eat the junk they served here. I have no problem with this after experiencing some of the best chefs in the world, including Bolod, Ramsey, Nobu, Andres, Puck. Wow, Wolf. I mean, they're good chefs, but I feel like in the chefing world, they're considered more like entertainment figures. I mean, they're very good, but I have no problem to say that I actually paid to leave this place in the middle of the dinner. You better spend $150 in that hot dog. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe down below, and I do stream on Twitch every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. CST, and I will be having out more videos coming soon. Thank you.